Well, based on the format that I used last time I did a rack store video, you guys gave me a ton of great feedback, and you said you prefer me being on screen narrating instead of just the usual okays and thumbs up and thumbs downs and stuff like that. So today we were out and about. Wife wanted to go hit a couple of places, and I'm always down, always looking for a bargain on something that I find cool. And with me, I find fragrances pretty cool. I'm lame, I know, but we hit TJ Maxx, we hit Ross, and I got to tell you, the TJ Maxx was despicable. But let's check out the footage. Stay tuned. All right, let's roll with it. So first, we hit TJ Maxx. It's next door to the Ross Dress for Less that I went to in this particular episode. When we popped in, I mean, it was bad, guys. There was a bunch of nothing. I mean, if I didn't have Penguin Rocks already, that's a great fragrance for $11. It really is. It's very, very solid. It's one of the best cheapies you can find out there at these rack stores. Polo Club Ignite. It's okay. Nothing special. But as you can see, nothing really going on. I mean, it's literally nothing special. The women's section, same thing. Nothing I would even consider worthy of pointing out for the ladies here in the women's section, except for this one English Laundry fragrance. And it's been so long since my wife wore that particular one, I don't even remember what it smells like. They did have a Kim Kardashian Gold fragrance. I don't know if that's noteworthy or not. Aura from Mugler. It's about the most excitement that they had between the men's section and the women's section. And once we were checking out and we got down the aisle, they actually did have some more men's fragrances that was much better than what was out in the store. But still nothing that I didn't have already that was even worthy of talking about, like Tommy for men. Hugo Energized, not a fan. Pass on that one. Bland. But Tommy's great. I always love Tommy. And then Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDT. This was not a good price for this 50 ml. 50 bucks. Pass on that. But Burberry Touch, that is a great fragrance. You can find it a little bit better online. But 30 bucks for a 50 ml is not that bad for Burberry Touch. But we decided to go to Ross. I ended up not getting anything. I mean, we got a couple things that weren't fragrance related, but the usual suspects were here at Ross, and I was really hoping I was going to stumble across something that I don't normally see. The original Usher, it's okay. Not a special fragrance, but not a bad fragrance. Had a lot of different Mustang fragrances. Kenneth Cole, they always have Nautica. The original Michael Jordan for you 90s kids. A nostalgic scent, but not anything to write home about. But, just random stuff. Chrome, can never go wrong with that. But there is one particular thing that really jumped out at me. Guess 1981's okay, but then there's this gift set of Diesel Spirit of the Brave. So I have Only the Brave and Only the Brave Tattoo, and I really like those. I have Only the Brave Spirit as well, or Only the Brave High. I like all three of the fragrances I have. So I looked at it, 30 bucks for a 50 ml with this little shower gel that it comes with. I said, you know what? Why the hell not? So I did end up grabbing that. And they had this little travel set of the new Nautica Oceans. I thought that was very interesting for 15 bucks. I mean, you can spend a little bit more and get a 50 ml, but that's actually not bad. I actually like the scent. Contrary to popular belief, I think it's a decent fragrance. It doesn't project much, but the smell is pretty solid, and it sticks to the skin because it doesn't have any alcohol to help it project. It's a water-based formula, so the oil kind of just sits on your skin, but really nothing spectacular. They have this little Lamborghini set that kind of intrigued me, but I was like, nah, I'm just going to stick with my Diesel purchase because this is actually, for me, probably going to be a good find. I don't know what the note breakdown is. Haven't checked it out. There's John Varvatos and Nick Jonas Crimson. I swear by this one. That's the best in the line. 30 bucks for a 4.2 ounce is great, guys. If you see that out, grab that fragrance. That is a solid pickup as far as the John Varvatos fragrances are concerned. I love that fragrance. It's the one I would recommend. Boozy, sweet, a little spicy and fruity. It's not too serious, but it's okay. And then might as well pass through the ladies' fragrances while I'm here. They had a bunch of Paris Hilton for men 1 ounces for $10. Shout outs to Joey Canoli. He did a hilarious full review on Paris Hilton for men recently. So as you can see, they had a ton of them. A bunch of 1 ounce 30 ml bottles, 10 bucks a piece. It smells great. It really does. It's a beautiful fresh fragrance that doesn't smell like every other fresh fragrance out there. True Religion for Women. I've never tried that one. Big 200 ml of Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. And then just a bunch of usual suspects that you see, Vince Camuto and stuff like that. Lucky You. Nothing really special going on here in the ladies section. unfortunately. So I ended up saying screw it and just bought Spirit of the Brave. Now I have not, like I said, I haven't checked out the note breakdown. We're going to smell it first and then we'll pull the notes on screen just to see if what I'm smelling makes sense for what the note breakdown actually is. I'm going to go ahead and bust this bad boy open real quick. Once again, for those of you that didn't see, it was $30. Felt like it was a fair price. Let me bust this open and I'll be right back. Here's the little shower gel that it came with. If it smells really good, I may use this tonight. And of course, here we go. Only the Brave bottles are cheesy and awesome in my opinion. Has the diesel knuckles. I wish it would not focus on me and focus on the bottle. That would just be fantastic. There we go. Has I had it right the first time. A tiger of sorts. Spirit of the Brave. All right, so let's give it a spray on the hand. See what we're working with here. One good spray, not going to breathe through my nose just yet. A little fresh and minty, actually. It's got an aquatic feel, and it's fresh and minty. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting darker. It's very, very mass appealing. This smells like a blue fragrance, honestly. Super easy, fresh, inviting, easy to like, but not special. The opening is not special, I will say. Does smell pleasant. I do get a little bit of a mintiness here, though. There's a citrusy freshness. It's minty. It's a little aquatic. And there's a crisp spiciness to the back of it. Like it's almost zesty, but not quite a zesty smell. But there is a spiciness here. It's actually a little warming, but not much. I want to say there's a little bit of a peppery type of smell going on here. But it's definitely fresh, a little green and minty feel to it. A little aquatic, a little spicy. It's familiar, but it's not. I can't pinpoint anything that it smells like, but it has a familiarity to it for sure. Not the most inspired fragrance, I will say. It's not some, oh my God, guys, rush out and see if your rack store has this. That's definitely not the case here, but it is solid. I like it. It definitely smells really good. I will say that, but it's not spectacular. Honestly, Youp Wow Fresh impressed me a bit more than this one does, but I have a feeling this is going to perform a bit better than Youp Wow Fresh, which was my favorite find from my last rack store video from Burlington. That smells great, has a Fahrenheit vibe, it's a violet leaf fragrance, just more on the fresher and spicy side, but it doesn't last really long. It's like a 3-hour fragrance on my skin. It doesn't last real long. I gotta say, this is getting better and better. I do like this. This is a more pleasing, even more easygoing type of fragrance. It does have a little bit of an aquatic feel. I'm very curious. Let's get these notes pulled up. So here we go. Spirit of the Brave. Aromatic, woody, fresh, spicy, citrus green, amber vanilla, conifer, interesting, sweet and fresh. So a lot of that does make sense. I did say that there's a bit of a citrus freshness, fresh, spicy. It has a little bit of an aquatic feel here, very green at the same time. So all of that makes sense. It's a low-rated fragrance. It's an amber woody. It was released in 2019. So bergamot, galbanum, fir, balsam, cypress, tonka bean, and labdanum. So the cypress has to be what's giving me that minty green feel. Okay, that definitely makes a lot of sense. It seems a lot fresher to my nose than what I'm looking at here on screen with this note breakdown. It is a little powdery now that it's settled down. The tonka bean has definitely stepped in, but that labdanum does give a little bit of a leathery feel. So the labdanum makes sense because it does have a leathery feel to it. But there's an aquatic touch that I kind of get here that obviously is nothing related to this note breakdown. I don't get much of an ambery feel. It's called an amber woody. It's classified that way. I don't completely agree with that for what I'm smelling on my skin. What I'm looking at versus what I'm smelling, there's a lot of similarities that do make sense, and then there's some things that don't quite make sense to me at the same time. Like I said, the citrus freshness, the bergamot, that makes a lot of sense, adds to the greenness, the minty green aspect, fresh spicy touch, the fir balsam and the cypress, that all makes sense. The tonka bean makes sense and the labdanum makes sense, but what's missing here is they're calling it an amber woody. They're saying there's an amber accord here. I don't get that. The vanillic accord they're calling for here, I could see because of tonka bean, but there's an aquatic tone that it just doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's just this airy freshness from the bergamot, the way it's coming off of my skin or what, but I don't know. I get an aquatic tone, but there's nothing aquatic about this note breakdown. But most importantly, it is an easygoing scent. It's easy to like. This is very mass appealing. It is getting better in the dry down, but if you're not a fan of tonka bean fragrances, this is going to be a pass for you because it's becoming a tonka bean fragrance very, very quickly. It's not anything special, I will say that. There's a little bit of a lacking of character here. I feel like there's some depth that could be added to make this a much more interesting fragrance, but at the same time, it's not marketed or created to be the most interesting fragrance. It's marketed and created to appeal to the younger man, to smell really good, and to smell good to those around you on your skin. And I believe it does accomplish that. Obviously, that is what it's built for, and I believe it does what they want it to do for sure. Nothing special here. I wouldn't say you need to race out and find this at your rack stores for $30. It is a good fragrance. It's just not a great fragrance. It's for those of you that have larger collections or have experienced a lot more higher end luxury fragrances, this is going to be super, super boring for you. But those of you bargain hunters that are out there looking to smell great on a budget, this is a solid fragrance. If I had to throw a number on this one, I would say it's every bit of a 6.5 out of 10 type of fragrance, where it's better than good, but not great. One of those type of things. And just to give you some perspective, I gave Prada Luna Rosa Oceans, if I remember correctly, a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. So I'm not saying it falls into the same exact category of a Prada Luna Rosa Ocean. Please don't get what I'm saying twisted. But I would say it's kind of how I feel about that one is how I feel about this, where it's better than good, but it's not quite great. It's not a very good fragrance, but it is a little bit better than just an average run-of-the-mill basic cheap aquatic fragrance. It does have a little bit more going for it here. There's some green freshness to it. That tonka bean adds some powdery sweetness without being too sweet or too powdery. And the labdanum, I think, is really what saves this fragrance by rounding off the edges with this smooth, leathery type of feel, because labdanum's good for that. And I really feel like that's helping this fragrance greatly, because I feel like it would be too bland and too basic and common without it, honestly. So, decent fragrance. You see it out there. If any of that sounded good to you, yeah, by all means, give it a shot. But if you're looking for something super unique, that's going to be some mind-blowing compliment magnet. It could be a compliment magnet. I don't know. This is a first impressions, but it's not some mind-blowing, super crazy original fragrance. It's solid. Better than good, but not great, is how I would rate Diesel Spirit of the Brave. Well, that's my first impressions on Diesel Spirit of the Brave. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this before? What do you think about it? Did any of that sound good, and did it pique your interest? It's not a bad fragrance at all. It's solid. I will be wearing this sooner rather than later. I can't say in the next couple of days, but within the next week or so, yeah, for sure. I do like how it smells on my skin. I do like tonka bean fragrances. This is a green tonka bean fragrance. A little bit different from every other tonka bean fragrance, but nothing special at the same time. So it's easy going. I like it. It's a little powdery, a little sweet, some freshness, some greens. It's solid. I'll definitely be wearing it pretty soon. If you want to see a full review on this one, please let me know down in the comments. And until next time, we'll see if you get your hands on Spirit of the Brave and you get a spray now. I don't know. It's a possibility you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.